Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into the certification test prep questions. Once again, I'll talk more in depth about this, but today we're just going to go over this study guide just to help you guys prep for the certification exam, but also to more or less prep for this upcoming exam. Okay, so here I've broken down into specific chapters, as you can see, right? It's broken down into specific chapters. So I did that even further for you guys to be able to look up where you can get these answers from. So in this case, let's go ahead and answer each section. So there are a total of 10 sections that you need to be able to know for the certification exam. And they're each broken down by percentage. So approximately how many questions would technically be on the certification exam, okay? But again, we're doing this as a review for this exam. So here, chapter 12, right? We're going to be looking into QuickBooks setup, okay? QuickBooks setup. So in this case, right, chapter 12 was all about company file setup, okay? So first question is, what kind of information is required before setting up a QuickBooks file? Okay, so what would you need in order to set up a QuickBooks file? This is also where we do we compile the study guide together. I'm not going to be giving you all the answers here. So in this case, I'm going to be asking you the questions.
What information is required before you? So the information, you have to have everything about the company
It
before you sit down to start to set up everything.
correct, but
Okay.
what do you
No.
need?
Um,
That's what the question is
what
asking.
what information is required before they set up a quick um information? So you need the information about the company, right? About you would need all that with you so you can do your interview properly, right?
What you touched on a word, interview.
It's we need the company information before creating a file,
Can you give me an example what kind of company information?
like the name,
Your
the
business information.
Correct.
and like the number of the, like where they are, the address.
Address is not one.
What
You
she's
don't
looking for.
absolutely need an address.
What
to,
information
to
is
create the
they set
profile
up
for the business.
file?
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
you need your figures. Your before you set up the file. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. I'm lost, Lynn. Um, I don't know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Like the tax ID.
You don't need the tax.
No, you don't have to
You
have
don't have to. You don't
that.
have to have that.
Set up
But
certificate.
that's a good start. You do need the company name. Yes. But what else do I need to have?
Mm,
Type of business.
Okay.
Mm,
All right. So if anybody has their book on them, what happens
yeah.
when you open up chapter 12?
let me see.
Uh, choosing a start day.
You
Start.
need to have a start date. Yes, in order to start your company file, you need a start date. And what step number is that?
Sorry, but can you say it again?
What step number is that?
Oh, this is the step one.
Step 1. So what am I going to be referring to? What is that page that has all the steps on it?
Okay, create the company file. This is step two.
Good. But my question was what what page is that where you have all the steps?
It's
Oh,
on page 446.
446 is going to give you the 12 steps that you need to have. You need to set up a company file, right? You need to go, number one, set a starting date. Number two, you need to create the company file, which is going to be having the company name, figuring out what your company does. So how do you set up a company file?
oh yeah. Like all 12 set,
Yeah, but my question is, how do you actually create the company file?
create the chart of the account.
That's step three. I'm talking about how do you set up the company file itself. If you need to have all this company's information, like such
Mm-hmm.
as company name, right? You need to know what kind of business type it is,
Yeah.
right? And you have to go through a series of questions, right? What do we call that?
The interview?
What is that interview called?
Is that the quick step interview?
Not the quick step interview.
No, it's the other one.
Express start.
You have quick start. Oh, okay, not quick
Mhm.
start.
Express start.
You have express start, and what's the second one?
Detailed start.
Details.
Detailed start. Absolutely. There you go. Here's step two. How do you start the company data file in QuickBooks? Well, you have two options: the express start and the detailed start, also known as the easy step interview. Okay, you need to be very specific because I can ask you. The certification question can ask you, or I can even ask you, how do you create your company file? And you say interview. Which one of these are interviews? Well, you need to know it's an easy step interview. What if I was specific and said, if I just want to create a company file right away off the bat, what do I need to use without having to go through a series of questions? You need to know what that particular way to create a company file is called. And that's the express start, not the quick start. Yes, it is quick start, but in this case, you need to be very specific in names because a certification exam is not going to say, give you an option for quick start. Okay? You have to know terminology because you need to be a master of the program. So in this case, Express Start. What does the Express Start actually do? Right? It creates the company file, but what does it actually do?
Customize common preferences of
Yeah.
the company.
Does it customize preferences?
Yes,
Um,
does
it
not.
also
No, it does not.
Express Start. However, it also asks you to customize some of the most common preferences.
Okay, but in this case, Express Start does not do that. I
Oh,
showed you an
that's Easy
example.
Start.
That's
That's
detailed start.
Easy.
There you go. Detailed start,
That's right.
right? You set up your company file, right? You add, you enter. You're gonna enter in your company, right? But it's also going to um ask you to set up company preferences and company preferences. Okay, Express Start does not. Okay, the only enters company info and you manually set preferences, right? So in this case, Express Start. What kind of users of QuickBooks would use this kind of use Express Start? What kind of level of
High level.
users? High level, right? What do you mean by high level?
Uh, they already know how QuickBooks works and all that.
Correct. So in this case, advanced users or people who used QuickBooks before and have a um, good understanding of how to use QuickBooks. Okay. Okay, that's another way of saying what kind of level what kind of advanced levels that they can do. They need this is for people who use QuickBooks on the daily. They know exactly after creating the company file, they know exactly how to manually set up the preferences, and they don't even need to go through a series of questions. Okay, but however, what does the easy step interview? What kind of users is the easy step interview meant for?
Beginners.
It's for beginner users. Good. Beginner users of QuickBooks. Okay. So people who are fresh to QuickBooks, don't really know what they're doing, or don't really know what kind of questions to ask to set up those preferences, it will walk you through a series of questions, right? So in this case, it will ask you to set up your company preferences through a series of questions. Okay, similar to an interview, right? All right, good. So that's that section from chapter 12. Okay. Now, do you need to know what kind of information you need to have prior to this? That's why I said usually when you do set up your company file, step 0 is essential. You need to know, in order for you to create a company file, you need to know details about your own company. Because if you don't know anything about your company and you're just creating it right off the bat, that you're gonna take forever on the interview, right? Because did you answer the question? Do you have employees? Yes or no? Do you charge sales tax? Yes or no? Do you keep track of time? Do you do progress invoicing? Right? So all do you what kind of products and services do you sell? Or do you sell products and services? So if you don't know that basic information about a company, about your company or an existing company, you need to get all that information prior before starting up creating your company file. Because if you don't have any of that questions, you're going to be stuck on the interview for quite some time. Okay. Again, chapter 14, we have not talked about chapter 14, so I'm just going to highlight this and we'll come back to it. Okay. Next section here is chapter 7, customizing QuickBooks. Okay. How do I customize, number 1, the home page? How do I customize the home page?
Through edit preferences.
Good, excellent, right? Through the edit menu. Oops. Through the edit menu, and you click preferences. Good, right? Because every question that you answer, or in this case, when we go through the edit preferences, you'll have a whole bunch of topics that you could select from, and by you toggling yes or no on those sections will formally create your homepage. Okay, and of course, if you did not know this now, how else can you set up your homepage for advanced users, or in this case, beginner users? Right? You will do it through the easy step interview. Okay, so that's something interview. Okay, because what do you essentially do? You're answering the same questions, right? If you track time and you say yes, at the very bottom of your homepage, you'll have the enter time button, right? If you choose no, you wouldn't have it. So in this case, if you did not know already, which I've already talked about, right? By going through the easy step interview, you're essentially customizing your homepage, right? And if you need to fix those preferences, well, you go to edit menu and you change those preferences, and that's also a way you would customize your homepage. Okay. What about customizing the icon bar? How do you do that?
Through the view menu.
You could do it through the view menu.
Use add window name to icon bar.
Okay. Where would you find that?
It's 262.
Not the
Using add.
what how do you get to that add to icon bar?
Is customize the icon bar using add window name to icon bar.
Okay, so my question I'm asking you is where do you find that add button?
Oh, is it not? Customize report.
No. My question is on QuickBooks,
Mm-hmm.
where? Because you have to be very specific in navigating, right? If I tell you where, I'm asking you, is it going to be on the home page? Is it going to be on the menu bar? And if it is on the menu bar, where on the menu
Oh,
bar?
sale order.
No.
Oh, estimate.
I,
Estimate icon bar. Home page, and after this estimate icon bar.
what was the question I asked you?
Where we found it, right?
Yes. I'm asking you, how do you customize your icon bar? Brian already gave me an answer saying you could go to the view menu bar
Mm-hmm.
and click on customize icon bar. Now you told me click on add icon to icon bar. Where do you see that?
Mm, okay, 1 second. Mm, it's is it calculator button?
What is it?
Calculator button?
No.
No. It's I'm not sure because it's saying here just customize the icon bar using add window. Okay, you can add your favorite window to the icon bar using the add window name. Icon button for the view menu.
There you go. You go to view menu
Okay,
bar, and there
for
you
example.
have add right here. Good.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so that's what you need to be. You need to tell me exactly how to get there because that's going to be considered a navigation question to you. It's going to say if I give you 4 steps, right, and I ask you how do you customize an icon bar, and it gives you step 1, go to the view menu. Step 2, select and choose to customize the icon bar. 3,
Mhm. If
etc.,
you
right? It will give you
mhm.
a series of instructions, and you need to answer the question correctly because they'll throw
Yeah.
in questions where you need to select the ways that you can be able to enter in a specific transaction, and you can get that wrong by putting one step out of order. Okay, so in this
Uh,
case, it's on the view menu bar. Okay, good.
mhm.
How else can you customize the icon bar?
Click customize.
You can right click anywhere in the icon bar.
Excellent, right? You can right click on icon bar and you will get the question to customize it. Good. Okay. How do I customize? Okay, so good. That's the 3 ways that you can do it. All right. Now the question says, how do I customize the menu bar? How do I customize the menu bar?
The menu bar. Uh,
How do you customize the menu bar? Well, let's take a look. What is the menu bar?
It's the topmost list from
Right,
top.
it's good, right? It's this whole entire section right here. Now, how do I customize the menu bar? How do I go ahead and go in here and say I want to customize my customer's menu bar?
we go to customize.
Where?
Customer center.
No. How do I customize the menu bar?
You just go to favorites and then it says customize.
Okay, so in this case, you're telling me I can customize my favorites menu, but the question I'm asking you is how do you customize every other menu? What does the menu bar list?
File, edit, view.
Okay, my question is what does each content list? What is so if I go to my customers, right? I have all of these transactions, right? That's what's under each list. Now, how do I customize this list? If I go to vendors, how do I customize my list for my vendors? If I go to banking,
Do you do it
reports,
under window?
no. There's no windows.
Is it from file?
Can I customize my menu bar through file?
New company, open company.
Only thing I can think of is going on the help menu and asking it there if I don't know how.
No. Okay, well, in this
Oh.
case, yes.
Is it from edit?
If I go to edit, can I customize my menu?
Edit.
Okay,
It's not-
edit.
Oh, I see. You just clicked on it. It's on under view, correct?
View.
no?
Okay, view.
If you say open window list right there.
Okay, that
Oh,
that is
Modify it
not
through
what
there.
I'm asking.
Customize icon bar? I don't know.
It's not the. I'm not talking about the icon bar. I'm talking about the menu bar. How do I customize my menu bar?
we need help.
So in this case, this is a trick question to you guys, but it is in your book. You cannot customize the menu bar.
Oh wow.
Why? Well, think about it. If it lists every single transaction, what if I if I customize that, right? What am I doing to myself? I am eliminating a lot of the functions that QuickBooks can do for me. But again, if I take a look at what every single thing does on my menu bar, it lists to me everything I can do in QuickBooks. So I shouldn't be customizing this at all. It's like working on any type of program, right? At the very top, right? If you have a ribbon at the top, do you think you could customize that? Should you customize that? No. You want to see what the program is capable of.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Going back to if I don't know how to do something, would help would that have told me no, you can't do that? That function is not available.
You
I was just thinking
did.
that you could do help and then ask a question like you normally can on some of the items that like the simpler ones.
Um.
So if I was just wondering because obviously you can go through contact us and all the other functions that are there. So yeah, I mean it makes perfect sense that we shouldn't be allowed because we're not the programmers.
Mm-hmm. Correct. You shouldn't be allowed to because you're not the program, right? Because again, if you actually hide something, right, on the menu bar, right, you end up eliminating possibilities, right? But once again, check this out. If you remember, in um, chapter 2, we talked about making batch invoices. It does not exist on the home page. It does not exist on the icon bar. It only exists on the menu bar. Now, in this case, if I were to customize my menu bar, right, batch invoices would not even exist. Now, in this case, that means I lost out on a function that QuickBooks is capable of doing, whether I use it or not. So that's what I'm trying to say is that the menu bar is so important because it has way more functions. It lists literally every single transaction you can do in QuickBooks, right? You run your reports. How many reports can you have? We said with Premier and Enterprise, right? You have over 150 plus reports. Well, let's take a look. If they're all categorized right here, right? And it's all in here, what do you think customizing the menu bar is going to do? It's going to eliminate a lot of functions that you have that QuickBooks can offer. So in this case, right, the menu bar is so important because it literally lists out every single transaction, whether it's a customer, a vendor, a banking, it could even help you. Now, and to answer your question, Maribel, if you go in and use the ask an accountant or ask Intuit themselves, right? They're gonna say no, you cannot customize the menu bar because you're not the programmer. Exactly how you just answered it yourselves. You can even go down to the frequently asked questions or the what is it called? The product what do you call it? The product index or the product the the place where it will tell you the whole thing about the whole entire the product manual. No, it will, yes, it will tell you that no, you can't even customize the menu bar. Okay, so yes, to answer your question, yes, you can use help for that. Okay.
So would the FAQs and all of that be under QuickBooks Desktop Help? Instead of
Yes.
that very first one? Okay.
It'd be either here or you could go down to the product user guide.
Okay, thank
Uh
you.
huh. Uh huh. So that's that right there. Now, again, Brian touched on a also one that you could do is the only thing that you can customize would be the favorites menu. Okay, but you cannot customize the overall menu bar itself. However, yes, you can have the option to customize the favorites menu by clicking on favorites. and then clicking customize. Okay, that's the only option that they'll give you, because what does the customizing the favorites menu do? It takes everything that's on the menu bar, right? We talked about this. The favorites menu, when you customize it, it gives you a list of all the transactions that are literally in each menu. And what it does is it helps you compile one for yourself to make it that much easier to enter in a transaction or have something convenient for you. But once again, what is the purpose of having a favorites menu when you can go ahead and locate all of these individually in its specific menu bar? Right? So this example right here, if I go into under, let's see here, right, the accountants menu, it's gonna have the very first one, which is accountants center. It's gonna have chart of accounts, right? What's the purpose of creating a favorites menu when I can just go to the accountant and be able to select chart of accounts right there? Okay, so there you go. All right. So that was section 7. All right, chapter 7. Next one here is going to be talking about chapters 2, chapters 4, and et cetera, et cetera. Chapter 4, chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, this one says, how do you set up lists? So, how do you set up your customer list? How do you set up your vendors list? How do you set up your items, and etc.? Okay, this will include understanding which names and items appear on which list. So, in this case, we can't answer this because we did take a look at chapter 4 and chapter 2, which talked about our vendors and our customers. So in this case, right, how do I set up those lists? How do I create them? Okay, so we can say customers slash vendors. How do I set up those lists? How do I set up those lists? Okay, in other words, how do I add these people on the list?
From the edit menu, you go to preferences.
No,
No?
you cannot add a customer or a vendor by going through the edit menu.
You mean like add new customer?
Correct.
Okay. Select the customer button from the icon bar.
Okay.
Uh,
Where does that
the
take
home.
you?
Huh?
Where does if you select
Mm-hmm.
customers on the icon bar, where does that take you?
Okay. And to add a new customer, select new customer.
Okay, but so if I click on customers on my icon bar, where does that take me?
Oh, we need to go to customer. Oh, homepage.
Okay. Let me ask you this
And
question again.
mm,
By me clicking on that, what where am I going? If I click on customers on my homepage, where does it take me to?
oh, is a home customer center.
Yes, okay. It will take you to the center. Very important that you need to know that, yeah, you can go on the icon bar, but it takes you to a specific place. And what is that specific place called? The centers, okay? So in this case, if I'm adding a customer, I need
Uh-huh.
to go to my customer center. So how do I get to my customer center? You have 3 ways. You have the home page, right? You click
Uh-huh.
on customers on home page. You have the customers on the icon bar, or you can go to customers menu and the very top says customer center. So in this case, yes, good. And then you need to add a customer right at the top. Good, excellent. So how do you add? You go to centers, okay, right? I'm gonna put right here home page, icon bar, menu bar, right? However way you get to the customer center, or customer vendor or whatever center, you need to be very specific. There's only 3 ways that you can enter the centers. All right? It's either through your home page, icon bar, or menu bar. So you go to the centers, okay? And then at top of center, click add new whatever it is. Okay? Good. We will talk about items later. Okay? We did take a look at a couple of examples of how to add an item. But in this case, right, we'll talk more in deep about items in chapter 8. So again, setting up your chart of accounts. Whoa, where's my cap locks at? Okay. Okay, I don't know what I did. But I cannot undo my chart of it. I cannot undo my cap locks. There you go. Chart of accounts, right? Your chart of accounts, your items list, anything on list. Okay. They all have a specific way, and we'll talk about more in depth about this when we talk about items in chapter 8, okay? There is a specific way how you set them up. Okay? So that's this section here. We just have to come back and fill up section for 14. All right? So let's see what the next section is. QuickBooks utilities and general product knowledge. So again, this is 10% of the certification exam, so a student should know. Okay, so chapter 1, introduction to QuickBooks. You need to know how to navigate or move around QuickBooks. So there are only 3 ways that you can navigate QuickBooks. That is through the home page, the icon bar, and the menu bar. Now, you need to know the definitions of each and every single one. So what is the home page? What is the home page? How does the
Like
home page help you navigate? Go ahead.
we have all the icons. We have all the bar, like menu bar. Yeah, we have this.
Yes, my question I'm asking is what is the home page?
The home page is like the mother of the page have everything we need.
Oh, it doesn't have everything you need. But what does it show me?
Show me all the icon I need.
Okay, more specifically, what I'm asking, what is the home page and what does
It's
it
the
do
menu.
for you?
The menu. Oh yeah.
The home page is not the menu. That's why they're 2 separate ones. Okay? What is the home page?
The homepage shows the functional areas of the business.
Good. And what kind of what is it separated into? How many categories are there?
5.
5, right? So in this case, that is what it is. It is a graphic depiction of a flow of a transaction in a particular business. So again, section 1 is your vendors. What do you do with your vendors? The function of having vendors is you're going to have inventory, right? You're going to make purchase orders. You're going to be entering bills and you're going to pay them. Okay? Same thing with customers, right? Except the difference with customers is you're going to be entering sales, right? You have creating your invoices, you have creating your statements, you have your receiving payments from your customers. And then down below for your employees, right? The functions of having employees is you got to keep track of time for them, right? To have create timesheets. Then you have to pay them. Okay? So the home page is a graphic depiction of the functions of a business in a particular area. So in this case, they're split into 5 different areas: vendors, customers, employees, company, and your banking. Okay, so in this case, that's exactly what it is: a graphic depiction of the flow of. Okay, within a business. Okay, separated into 5 categories, right? Vendors, customers, employees, um, banking, and company. Okay, you could be asked this question right here, right? This was a question also in your book as well. Okay. All right, what about the icon bar? What is the icon bar?
Sorry, where is this answer in like chapter 1?
I cannot give you the specific page, but it's definitely a question on there. Okay? If you open up your book and you read the home page, it's going to be right there. It will tell you it is split up into 5 separate sections. So, go to chapter 1, open up how to navigate QuickBooks, and when you see home page, it should list it right there.
Okay, thank you.
What about icon bar? What does the icon bar do?
It helps you select centers, activities, and the and available services.
Excellent. Good. So it helps select centers, activities. What was the last one, Brian?
And available services.
Good. Services. Good. Okay. And then the icon bar. How do you know it's the icon bar? Like visually is what I'm asking.
It's the left side menu or menu bar or
Yeah.
um
Good.
how do I say?
Yeah, good. It's a list of icons, and it's usually on the left side. Good, right? And then last but not least, the menu bar. We already talked about the menu bar. It is a list of all transactions that QuickBooks functions, or sorry, it's a list of all transactions and functions that you can do in QuickBooks. Okay. Good. All right. How do you back up or open a backup file? And how do you create a portable file and open up a portable file? So in this case, this was a chapter 1, but I'm going to separate them. One saying how do you back up the file and how do you open up a backup file. And then we'll do the portable file. So again, this was part of chapter 1. So let's talk about how. How do you back up a company file? Or let's talk about what first. What is a backup file?
It is everything you need to recreate your company file.
What do you mean by recreate?
Uh, Maybe restore.
Okay. Oh, okay, so what is the purpose of creating a backup file?
In case of accidental loss or damage to your
Good. Excellent. Right. Good. So, what is it? It is a copy of the company file in case of accidents. Okay, case of accidents, corrupted file, right? It is a literal copy of the file, okay? Now, how do I create that file? Okay, I did not talk over this, but it was in your reading. How do I create a backup file? And I'll show you in chapter 14 as well. How do I create a backup file?
You have to go to file menu and open up and choose
I'm
backup.
good, right? File menu, and I'm gonna back up company. Good. Now it's gonna say, do I want a local backup or do I want to create a different backup? In this case, you're gonna create a local backup. Okay. So good. That's how you create. How to create. Okay. How create is file menu and selecting backup company. And then you would go select local backup. Okay. Good. Now, how do I open a backup file? How do I open up a backup file?
It's saying select a create copy from the file menu.
No, you're not creating a copy. We're trying to open a copy.
Open the copy.
You have to go to file,
File?
choose backup company.
No, that's to create one.
Oh, no.
No, that's to create a backup file. So if I were to go here to file and click up backup company, my only option is either create a local backup or create uh, a previous local backup. That's just to open a previous one. But in this case, no, that's not how you open a backup file.
You go to open and restore or restore the company.
Good. You go to open and restore company. And then you have the options to choose what kind of file. You have the option to choose a backup or you can open up a portable. So good. So in this case, open or restore existing file. select backup. Okay. All right. So then let's.
Like we will having like this question and similar, correct? Like this is how is the questions is gonna be in exam.
Yes, and in this case, I actually got this question on my certification exam. Was how do you create a company backup? And I would have to
Mm.
put the steps in the exact order. And they gave me options to that can confuse you that isn't part of the question, isn't part of the answer. So you need to know the ins and outs. All right.
But the questions is gonna be like similar to this one. When we study, we need to focus on like similar question.
In this
Or
case, this certification test prep questions came from the actual study guide from Intuit themselves. I just copied this and then put it in a Word document. So, is this the exact question that is on the exam? No. This is a generalized question because it just says a student should know, right? You need to know what a backup file is. You need to know how to create a backup. And you need to know how to open a backup file.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, the next section here is right here. It's question says, how do you create a portable file or restore a portable file? Now in this case, what is a portable file? What is a portable file?
The portable file is the compact version of your company file.
Correct. Good. Compact, compressed, whatever you want to call it. Copy. It is a copy of the company file. Okay? And it is used for sending files through emails or uploading on a website. Okay, that's the purpose of it because it's shrunken into a small, easy transferable way, and it's a copy. Okay, make sure you know it is a copy of the file. Okay, now how would I create a portable file?
Select the create copy option from the file menu.
Okay, let me see. File menu, create copy. No.
No? This is a great portable company file.
You're in the right area.
Um, so is it opening
Um,
portable?
I'm not asking you to open, I'm asking you how to create one.
Yeah, it's create portable company file. Number one, like the step one, select a create copy option from the file menu.
Okay, that's one way. What's the second way? Don't forget, QuickBooks doesn't ask you for one way, it asks you for many ways. It could ask you anyway. So that's okay, if that's one that your book says, what's the other one? This one's actually more visible, if this makes sense.
A new company?
Say that again?
Would it be a new company?
No, you're not creating a new company.
Is it, we could do it like right click or no?
No, there's no right clicking in this in saving a copy. No.
Create company. We could go to company, I believe.
Company.
Under open?
We're
Or
not opening a file. We're creating one. Or we're
Company.
creating a copy of one.
Okay, manage. Uh,
Okay, so let's go back to file because you're very close under file.
okay, the create copy.
backup?
Not we're not backing up a file. We're creating a portable file.
Oh, we print.
We're not printing. We're creating a portable file.
Okay, create copy, backup, company.
So if I need to create a portable file that I can send through email or upload on a web page.
Oh, is it um uh it's
Click send company file.
Send company file, and what do you see? Portable file.
Portable.
oh, okay, okay.
Okay, that one is the more obvious one. Okay, so to create, you're going to go to file menu.
Okay, now you go to
File menu, send company file, and then you're going to select portable. Okay. And then, of course, the steps to open up a portable file is going to be more or less the same as opening up the backup file. Okay, but instead of clicking backup, you're going to click the portable file instead. Okay, I forgot to put in file menu. Okay. All right, next one says, how do you determine the release number and which edition of QuickBooks they are currently using and how to update QuickBooks? So I'm going to split this up into two different questions here. So let's talk about how do you determine the release number? Okay, how do you, actually, let me fix that. How do you determine the release number and which edition of QuickBooks you are using? Okay.
Go to help menu.
No,
No?
no.
Any
There
other
is
way?
one key that I taught you in this class.
One key.
There is one button on your keyboard that I taught you how to use and what to use.
Was it F12?
Not 12. You're close. Not F12, but F what?
is it 10?
No.
It's 10 or 5, I believe. I
It's
remember that.
none of those.
Mm.
I guess F11. I don't remember it.
It's not F11. What I meant by close is if it's not 12, right? If I press my F2 function key, right? That's what I meant by close, because instead of choosing 12, you choose 2. If you hit your F2 function key, here it will tell you the exact product that you're using, which right here I'm currently using the QuickBooks Premier Accountant version, desktop 2021, release number 8 P something, right? Activated is R8 out of 72. Dang, that's a lot of releases. And it tells me my exact, when did I download this program? When did I activate it? In this case, I downloaded this program since July 1st of 2021. All right. And it gives me details on my exact file that I'm currently using. So if you remember, right, it tells me right here, well, I'm currently under the file that we used last week, which is chapter 13. I have currently a total of accounts, 69 accounts. I have a total names of 43. And it's broken down saying that, well, you have 19 vendors and you got 2 employees, okay? And you have 22 customers. So in this case, it gives you a grand overview of the entire file. It even tells you how big your file size is. Okay, so that's what the F2 function key, and that is the only key you are going to be using in this QuickBooks class. Okay, your book will also tell you there's shortcuts that you can use, keyboard shortcuts. If you use a keyboard shortcut on the exam, you will get that wrong. Okay, there are no shortcuts because you need to know the exact trail for the navigation section of the exam. You need to know the exact way to get there instead of pressing the keyboard. So if I need to go to my home page, how do I get to my home page? That's exactly what it says. Or how do I get to my items list? I need to go to list all my items, or sorry, list menu, and I select items list, and then I select new item. Okay, it will be very specific, and if you are memorizing keyboard shortcuts, you will definitely fail. Okay, now again, if you are being experienced with QuickBooks, then yes, go ahead. If you know the shortcuts, or if you want to learn the shortcuts, because it just makes it that much easier to enter into transactions, do it for your own personal use, but do not use it to try to certify for the QuickBooks exam. Okay, so again, F2 function key on your keyboard. Okay, now what is a release? What is a release? Because that is where it's going to ask you, how do I update my QuickBooks to the latest release? Okay.
The release would be the version you're using of QuickBooks.
No,
No?
no. What does a release number do?
It's the number of patches, right? Or
Correct. Good. Number of patches. What are patches? If you remember, every
fixes.
program, yes, good. Patches or fixes, good. Every program will have some kind of bug or some kind of function, or if you know this, glitch, right? If a program glitches on you because for some reason the coding for that particular part of that isn't working, you go to the QuickBooks and they have a dashboard where you can enter in for the programs for that, things like that. And what happens is that QuickBooks, the team is going to create a patch, so then when you do use that function in QuickBooks, it's like not glitchy anymore. It becomes fixed. So that is exactly what a release number does. It's a patch or a fix to a problem that the program is experiencing. So that is what a release number does. Okay? Now, if you remember looking at my screen, I have release 8 out of 72. Okay? So, in this case, how do I update my QuickBooks to the latest release? How do I update my QuickBooks to the latest release? I believe Orlando, you were in the right area when you were answering. How do I see the release number?
Go to help and use automatic update.
You can use automatic update, but in this case, what else can you do? Okay. In this case, you could just simply update it. Now, do not confuse with update QuickBooks Desktop versus upgrade QuickBooks, because updating is just updating the release. But if you select to upgrade, you're basically buying a better edition of QuickBooks, whether you're upgrading it to the new 2022 or if you're upgrading from Premier to Enterprise. Okay, so do not confuse upgrade with update. So in this case, good. File menu bar, help menu and update. Okay. All
I
right.
thought we do upgrade, not update.
I just told you the difference between upgrade and update. If you're trying to update to the releases, you need to select update. Okay? If you're trying to move from Pro to Premier to Enterprise, which is you're going to upgrade.
Okay.
All right, what are the versions and editions of QuickBooks that are available for a specific year? Okay, so in this case, what are the different versions of QuickBooks? The book tells you that there are 5.
Versions, editions. Would that be Pro, Premier,
Good, correct. There's Pro, Premier,
Enterprise,
Enterprise,
Accountant,
Accountant, Enterprise, SE, and Accountant, and what's the last one?
Student?
Not student. That's no. So these are called the desktop ones, right? These are the ones that are available as a
Oh,
desktop.
industry.
What was that?
Industry?
Not industry.
No? Well,
Looking at technology nowadays, what is the most easily accessible for you to travel wherever you want to go?
Oh,
online.
online.
Oh, yeah,
There you
online.
go. Good. QuickBooks Online. Okay, good. These are the 5 different versions. Now, editions literally means, is it going to be the year? Okay? In this case, version and edition can be they're very similar, but you need to make sure that you know, are you updating the version or are you updating the edition? Okay, version is going to be what kind of program are you doing, pro, premier, enterprise, or accountant. The edition is going to be, are you going from 2019 to 2020, 21, 22? Okay, make sure you are aware of that. Okay. All right, chapter 12, company setup. Once again, how to use QuickBooks in single user mode and multi-user mode. So so tell me, what does single user mode do and what does multi-user modes do?
Uh,
So what does single user mode in QuickBooks do? How is that different than having multiple users?
So single user just means that there's only one user that'll be able to access the company file.
Good. Only one user. What does multi-user do?
Multiple people would be able to use the company file.
Correct. Okay. Only one user uses file. Many users can use the file at the same time. Okay. Now, how do I switch between the user modes? So how do I switch between single user to multi-user?
You go to the QuickBooks file menu, select single user mode to multi-user.
Good, right? You go to QuickBooks file menu, right? And you have the button to switch to multi-user mode. Okay, good. Okay. How file menu switch to, okay, good. Now, how do you password protect your QuickBooks? How do you password protect your QuickBooks? This is extremely important.
Are we going back to the setup menu from the company menu? At what point are we going? How far back?
Okay, no, okay, good. You said, what did you say? You said company menu?
Company menu, select setup users and passwords.
Company menu, select users and passwords, and then you can change your password right there. So good, excellent.
Okay, good.
All right, so you're gonna go to company menu, set up users, set up users, and then you're gonna go ahead and click change password. Good. Right. Let's go ahead and go over this quickly and then we'll go on break, okay? Chapter 7, customizing QuickBooks, how and why to use preferences. Okay, so in this case, what do preferences do for QuickBooks? What does preferences do for QuickBooks?
You can set up your home page.
Good, right? It help set up the home page. Okay. Now so what's the purpose of setting up your home page?
Uh, you can set up the functions of
Good.
the different areas of the functions of the company.
Good. So in this case, functions, transactions. Okay, that's what preferences does. It helps you be able to use the functions in QuickBooks. Good. Okay. Now again, what are the two different preferences?
User and company preferences.
Good. What does a user preference do?
Allow you to customize the default window
For who?
uh, for desktop.
For who?
Yourself.
What do you
Yeah,
mean by yourself?
my preferences.
My preferences
User.
for the user. Good. So again, to set preferences for the user that is currently logged in. Okay. Okay. So again, that's a user preference, right? If I want to make my user preference says I want my QuickBooks to have pink all over it, right? Or change my color scheme to pink and have my colors icons at the top of my bar. Is that going to be the same for you?
No, unless it's a single or multi-user, right?
No.
No.
No. But no is correct. No, it's not going to be affect yours because this is my preferences. This is what I put on my desktop because I'm currently logged into my profile. Okay? So what difference
Okay.
does that make when you set a user preference versus a company preference?
Company is going to affect all of the multi-users. Or no?
Correct. Good. You're going to apply preferences that makes changes to the overall company file. Overall company file. So that means if I make a change on my end, it's going to affect your end. It's going to affect everybody else's end. That's what company preferences does versus a user preferences, which users is only tailored to the person that's currently logged into the QuickBooks. Okay,
So
so
does this go back to using the password protection? So that's yes or no?
and password protection is going to be universal for all, except if you're talking about like if I'm a user trying to log into my account using my password, then you can set that differently.
Okay, okay. And
Mm-hmm.
it's different accesses depending on what you are as a user.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, right? So when we're looking at a company preference, right? If I choose on my window that I only want one to view one window at one time, okay? That's going to be a user preference. But if you want to make a overall change, like for example, right? I want to change that everybody can see everything's going to be under accrual accounting. Okay, that's a company file. So that means on my page, everything that I see is going to be accrual. And then on your computer, everything's going to be under accrual. Okay, so that's the difference, is whether you're affecting the whole entire company file or you're just affecting just the desktop current user profile. Okay, good. All right, so it is now 10 o'clock. Well, it's 9:58, so I'm going to round that to 10 o'clock. So go ahead and take your 15-minute break and be back no later than 10:15. And we'll continue on with the study guide, okay?